quick update on the various things I planned to focus on for the month of March. I planned to film that at some point this week. It has not come to fruition, so I popped on live to just get this going and move forward with our lives. I am currently drinking a Redmond Relight in the mixed berry flavor. I have that with some of my J. Crow's Loodles solution, 2% iodide. I don't remember what is what. Iodide has 4%, iodine has 2%. Those are two different compounds. But I've got that going on here in my water cup. And I do dissolve my Redmond Relight in some warm water, or hot water rather, from my Keurig. And then once that's dissolved, I put cold water in and then add my iodine. Iodine is a very volatile trace mineral, so you have to be a little bit cautious with how you add it to hot liquids. It can sort of evaporate from what I understand. I could be wrong on that, but I do know that it is somewhat volatile, and heat causes it to, it causes the vapors to be released, which means you're not consuming it, which means it's not getting into your cell receptors. So that is what I am currently drinking right now. And I wanted to jump into the focus things. Why is my lighting so bad? Let's see if I can't modify some things. Maybe we just take it down a notch. How about that? Maybe that'll work. I don't know. My ring light is doing all the things for me today. It's a little bit cloudy out there, but anyway, I want to come on here and talk about the different things I planned to focus on, because I can't quite remember all of the things I had planned to focus on for the month of March. And I find that to be a bit of a problem. It's a difficult task to be focused on something if you can't remember what it is. So I wanted to kind of come on here as a little bit of a check-in, but also as a tiny wee bit of encouragement that if you step away from the path of whatever it is you're focusing on, you have the opportunity to step back over and onto the path that you had intended and keep moving forward. Every moment you have an opportunity to make a different choice. And that's what I plan to do right now, is make a different choice. One of the foci I remember from my last video that I said I was going to be intentional with was the plank challenge. Steve over at Serious Keto had one going, and I hadn't yet watched that video at the time. And I was kind of like jazzed about it, because I was like, hey, big shot Steve over at Serious Keto's doing the things. I feel solid about my choice to also want to do those things. Well, let me tell you what, it only was about a few days into the month of March before I stopped doing the plank challenge. And my intention was to have excellent form and technique for my planks and gradually build up the amount of time it would like that I hold a good form plank. Yeah, that it was a few days. I want to say I made it to day 4. And then I just let that fall by the wayside. So it's one of those deals where it's like, you know, I had every good intention. I failed on intentions. Good intentions don't get the job done. So I plan to get back on that horse today and do the planks. I believe I can hold a good technique, good proper form plank for 1 minute. But you know, watching yourself in a mirror is a really good way to see how that works out. So there was that piece. Another thing that I intended to do, or intended to focus on this month, was going to the pool twice per week and doing that alongside with my big girls. Well, there's been a variety of things where we've only made it once per week. And the other day we were doing the track. Well, that has kind of been sidestepped. We had some other school lesson work that we needed to get done that seemed to be more of a priority in that moment. So we've only done the pool once per week this month so far. What is this? This is the 3rd week of March. So we've gone 3 times to swim, and I definitely want that to improve this week forward. So my goal is to swim twice per week. So we're going to get back on the horse with that. And keep moving forward with that. Another focus, I don't recall if this was from February or if it was from March. I know in February I had this as a focus and I failed at it because I was trying to do it, because I was putting a restriction on myself, like you must do these things, some sort of a requirement. And I tend to have a more rebellious personality, and whenever I give myself a hard and fast, you must do the things, I struggle with that a lot unless I see tremendous value in it and the consequences are higher or are greater than choosing to not do the thing. So I don't recall actively saying that I would hold fast to doing my supplements morning and night, but I have found ever since starting the Lugol's iodine drops, this makes me want to do the things. Let me tell you why. Because this is an ingestible formulation that I put into some water. Any of my supplements that I can ingest, whether it's my electrolytes and the magnesium that I get in here, I do need to up the magnesium in general, but you know, like getting my salt and the magnesium, the potassium, those kinds of things, this is not a full daily recommended amount with just one scoop of this, but it is more than what I was doing whenever I was failing at all of my supplement intake in February. So having something that tastes good and that is right in my cabinet space, like right here where I keep my K-cups and my tea and that kind of thing, having these two little guys right there together, I have just noticed such an improvement in my ability to take my supplements on a more consistent basis. So that is another one of the things that I don't think I actually planned to focus on that, but that was sort of a consequence of having put that restriction on myself in February and then taking it off in March. I feel solid about the fact that I have, you know, been consistent with those things at least. And I'm really excited. Amy over at Carnivore's Angel, she said that there was a 20% concentration of iodine for the Lugol's solution. And I've got a few bottles of that coming. So instead of taking, I thought I was taking 6 to 8 drops of this per day. It's 6 to 8 drops per glass of water. So I'm up to, and I don't do it in every glass of water. I think I am up to between, 18 and 24 drops of the Lugol's 2% solution in my water per day. And I think that, I'm trying to remember, I don't remember what that converts out to be. It might be roughly 20 to 25 milligrams of iodine per day. I would like to work up to 50 milligrams, if not maybe even 100. And the benefits to the iodine are far and wide and deep and high and all the things. So I am working really diligently to up my intake of those things. That information is for a different video for somebody who's more well versed in all of the iodine things. So that's not where I'm going to derail today. Another focus for the month of March was to stay on the dairy-free train. And that one didn't feel restrictive to me. There were times when I felt like, oh, it would just be so much easier to grab a slice of cheese or to have some of the shredded cheese on my taco or whatever the case may have been. However, I noticed that it was not difficult in February except for like 2 times? It's hard to remember back. But I didn't have a ton of cheese at all. I didn't have the cheese. I didn't have the heavy whipping cream, the sour cream, the Greek yogurt, none of it, except for whey protein isolate and butter. Those were the 2 dairy items that I found did not cause cravings and did not cause me to retain. The cravings piece of that puzzle was the number one reason why I wanted to steer clear. And I've discovered in the month of March that the increased swelling and water weight has been impacted by me stepping away from my dairy-free challenge, my no cheese, sour cream, Greek yogurt, what else? Heavy cream. all of those things, stepping away from those things. And then March comes along. My husband's birthday is in March. I made him a key lime pie filled with heavy cream, with whipped cream on top, all the things. And I had a tiny little sliver. And from that point forward, I just sort of tumbled down the well of Cheeseland. And I have not had cheese every day, but I did consume a significant amount of brie after my husband's birthday. And then we got to bring the brie home. It was from a baby shower. And I talked about this on our live stream over on Carnivore's Angels channel. There was all this brie, and so I brought the brie home because nobody else wanted to take the brie home. My husband loves brie, and I said, yes, we will consume this. We will not let this go to waste. I would have the self-control to ignore the brie. Well, that was not reality, and I definitely partook of brie more than just that one day. And that just kind of little pinches of cheese here and there whenever I make the girls something or whenever I make my husband something. It's just one of those things where cheese has become a little bit of a slippery slope for me, and the consequences of consuming the cheese are significant enough to make me say no to the cheese. I couldn't move my rings. The swelling was intense on me. I could not feel comfortable in my skin. I felt swelling all like right up here in my upper abdomen area. I was just not feeling it. I had a little bit of some puffiness going on. I had a breakout on my forehead from the inflammation of the cheese. And so I love cheese. It is a glorious food. I have discovered that I don't have self-control with cheese, and a little bit doesn't mean a little bit. A little bit means all in one sitting and then going abstinent from it forever. So it's one of those things where I need to put cheese in its proper place. I didn't have any Greek yogurt or any cream or any of the heavy whipping cream after my husband's birthday. So that was easy enough to sort of pull back from. That was not so big of a deal, but cheese, cheese. So I've definitely veered away from that focus for the month, and that had enough consequence to it to make me realize I'm going to hold fast to that particular restriction that I have placed on me, because the consequences are not worth it to have that feeling on a regular basis. What else? I struggle to remember if there was another focus point. So we had the swimming twice per week, the plank challenge, the cheese that I've pontificated for far too long about. I've been doing well with the supplements, even though that was not a primary focus for the month, and I can't remember what else. I honestly can't. So I don't know. I don't know what else there was, but those are the things that have been going on with me so far in the month of March. We're at mid-March here, and my objective from this point forward, my task from this point forward, is to say, you wandered off over here on this side trail, and that's not where you want to be. That's leading you to somewhere completely different. My husband is a pilot, and I went to school to be a pilot, and one of those little bitty things that can happen is when you go and you've got a heading, if you are off by just 1 degree, it doesn't feel too bad. Like you're thinking, oh, well, I've got a heading of 300 right now, and that's what I need to be. And then slowly you realize, oh, instead of 300, I'm at like 290. It's only 10 degrees difference, but that makes a huge difference whenever you are traveling. And the longer you travel 10 degrees off, the further apart the destination is from where your current location is. So I'm at a point where I can still course correct, and instead of being at my 300 heading, I'm at the 290, I can correct to a 310 heading, and I can meet back up to my original heading of 300. That's all just like an illustration. It's not real, but I can course correct. I can get back on my current path, or my desired path, so that I can reach my desired destination of health. And that is another thing I always want to stress that I don't do a good job of, but I follow a keto way of eating for health and not for weight loss at this point in my life. And I define a ketovore as being a high protein, low carb, moderately high fat way of eating. I tend to put a lot of emphasis on animal foods, like animal sources for food, i.e. meat. I don't do the dairy so much anymore. I do some organ meats and that kind of thing. So animal-based foods with a little bit of plant-based items thrown in for interest. Neely says that all the time. I think it's to discuss those things. Plus, if I was just straight carnivore, coffee would be out of the question. And I made the joke on our live chat the other week that I am a coffeevore. All the coffee, all the meat. It's a beautiful marriage, I tell you what. So anyway, I do have a couple of comments I wanted to address. Hi, Judy. The asthma thing, that is interesting for cutting out dairy. I mean, in my brain, I can correlate the things for sure with, you know, all of the mucus producing, and then you've got all of the phlegmy things hanging out. I can see how that would be beneficial. AK, oh, you haven't really missed much. Hopefully the replay will catch you up. But cheese completely, you cut that out for 2 weeks and 2 weeks ago, you do feel better. Yes, the bloating is amazing to no longer have the things. Nuts can be really irritating to our systems as well. You think about it, like nuts, they do so much. Trees do so much to protect that nut, that seed, so that it can then reproduce and create more trees and carry on doing its reproductive cycle. And yet here we are working so hard to get that tiny little nut out of that nut, or out of the shell, so that we can consume it, yet it really doesn't seem to benefit us in any way, shape, or form. The number one issue I have with nuts is that pecans are very addictive for me. Pecans with pepper jack cheese. That was one of my all-time favorite go-to snacks, whether it was mindful or mindless. It was always nuts and pepper jack cheese. Oh, Judy, I appreciate cut out pecans. I don't really struggle with almonds or with peanuts or cashews or any of those other nuts. But if we have pecans in the house, I'm like a moth to a flame. I will just like zero in on those and I will just keep moving on them. AK, have I read Plant Paradox? No, I have not, but allow me to add that to the list. I will be searching it. Plant Paradox. There it is. Let me see what I've got here. I will pull that up and see what I can. I just found it. So it's in the list to be read then. Thank you. I do appreciate a good read suggestion, especially nonfiction. I'm not a fiction girl. I just don't have the mental capacity right now. I'd rather learn something rather than, you know, just go along for a story. Okay. Yeah, that's the exact one I found. Dr. Gundry. I got that right there. I will add that to my list. Judy, you grew up with pecan trees in your front yard. Yes. My aunt, she lives down in Texas. Texas has the best pecans. Don't care where you're from. Texas will always have my heart. I'm not wearing my new Texas t-shirt, but Texas has some amazing pecans, and my aunt has a pecan tree in her backyard, and when my grandfather was still alive, they would just sit at they would go collect all the pecans out of the backyard, and they would just sit there and crack and shell and scrape out all of the pithy part and everything, and they would send up bags with my parents if they were coming to visit whenever the pecans had come in, and oh, those were the sweetest tasting pecans. All pecans from the store shelves, not one of them ever compared to the ones that were in my aunt's backyard. Oh, hey, Brianna. All right. Yeah, AK, I will definitely be adding that to my list. I don't know how quickly I'll get to the Plant Paradox book, but I will do my best to get to it. Um, Texas, Texas is the best of the 50 nifty. I tell you what, that's where my heart lies. Oh, I have to tell you this fun story really quickly. I've been on here for 20 minutes, but I want to just share the things. I am a person who loves to change it up, doesn't like to do things the same way twice for very long. I really struggle to be consistent on a lot of things because my brain is always re-engineering, refiguring, trying to ask the question, is there a different way to do this? Is there a better way to do this? What happens if? Like, that question goes through my head at least 200,000 times a day. One area that my brain does not try to change it up in is clothing. And I get on a kick with my t-shirts. Like, this is a new t-shirt for me. I haven't bought new t-shirts for myself in 2 years. And all the t-shirts I have in my drawer that you see me recycle over and over again, video after video, I have had for the past 2+ years. Some of them I've had for probably closer to 5, 7, maybe even longer years than that. So I finally decided to invest a little bit in my replacing of the t-shirts, because t-shirts, they all they get like little holes right where the countertop rubs against them and gets caught on it, and your jeans, I wear jeans all the time, where your jean button gets caught on it. So finally I said, I'm taking some of my money and I am buying some replacement t-shirts. Well, I got 8 t-shirts and they're all identical. They're all the Bella Can, exact same size. There's a few variations on colors, but beyond that, once you find the thing that works, you just go with it on that particular deal. And then with jeans, I've been struggling with jeans forever. When big jean companies stopped making low-rise bootcut jeans, I was forced to try out skinny jeans. Not a fan. I never have been, but I found a couple jeans that I liked well enough to carry on and continue wearing. And all of my jeans, and then I wear the ever living out of them till they disintegrate. And then I have to go and find more. Well, I've already done all the hard work of figuring out what brands I like, what sizes of that style work for me, and the rough price point for them. They don't make them anymore. And so I have to go off on a goose hunt, like a wild goose chase, to try to find the jeans. And I currently have 2 new pair of jeans. Well, new to me. Let me tell you how I get these jeans. I go to eBay. I search eBay. People talk about ThredUp. People talk about Poshmark. I do have a pair coming from Poshmark, but eBay all the way for me. I shop eBay for my clothes all the time. My husband thinks it's kind of goofy and silly and ridiculous, but I tell you what, I'm only paying between $10 and $25 after shipping for my jeans, and I love them. So I may have that reverse engineer mind when it comes to trying to figure out all the foods and things, or how to do something, like physically do something. But when it comes to figuring something out that is like a no-brainer for me, I'm like, I'm going to continue to seek out that no-brainer option over and over and over again, and that's clothes. So there was that. Okay, Brianna, she asked the question. Brianna is Diva and the Divine, if you're not familiar with her. She does a lot of nutrition things over on her channel. She's phenomenal. Love her. She is a music lover. She's got a little piece of my heart. I love her. So if y'all don't know her, y'all go over to her channel, check her out as well. And she asked, recap. What am I changing? Okay, I haven't changed anything, Brianna. I have just sort of discussed where's my current status with my foci for the month. My plank challenge has gone by the wayside. My ability to resist the cheese by the wayside, and going to the pool twice per week has been a bit of a failure for myself. So all of that said, I did kind of go through that earlier, but that's pretty much the recap. Oh, okay. Okay, that's great, baby. So I'm on a trajectory of of getting really far away from my foci for the month. And my objective now is the fact that I can course correct at any moment. So I'm choosing to course correct back to the things I focus on and make sure that I'm achieving the things that I want to achieve. Oh, good, Judy. That's fantastic that you already know all about Brie. Oh, well, thank you, Dave. I've never gotten that compliment before, but thank you. So those are the things that are really just kind of going on right now. I just didn't have an opportunity to sit down, discuss my random foci for the month of March and move on, but I didn't really have time to film it and try to, put it all together and get it out here before the end of Wednesday. And I really had the goal of Wednesday. Like I'm trying to get more consistent with the videos. YouTube is truly a hobby for me. I love it so very much. And it is not the primary focus of my life. So I have to be realistic with myself, and I'm trying my hardest to get 2 videos out per week right now. I thought I was going to get 3 videos a week out, but that is proving to not be my reality. So I can pick up the Marco Polo and talk to Brianna for like 20 minutes. And then I'm like, oh, I got to keep moving, but I can talk to her while I've got my kids running around in the background and all of the distractions. And there's no edit button on Marco Polo. So what you get is what you get. But here on the YouTubes, I sit down to film a video or I do a what I eat in a day video. And true story, I probably have, I don't know, 3 or 4 takes on some of the times when I'm just like talking straight to the camera because my brain works faster than my mouth can produce words. And that gets to be a little bit irritating. So if I go live or if I'm on the Marco Polos, it's like you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. So, oh my word, y'all, we are almost to 30 minutes. It is 5 o'clock here in the Eastern Daylight Time, and I need to work on getting some food ready for the children's. Hubby has an airport meeting tonight, and I have to go help with church stuff tonight for the children's. So we got to get moving. But I got to tell you what, this is the most people I've had on a live stream that I can recall ever. And I appreciate y'all being here live so very much. That number right there just like blows my mind. I have never had more than, a handful of people on, and I am always so appreciative when anybody pops on live because I don't expect it. I don't announce the things. I just appear. and the fact that y'all show up sometimes whenever I am here, that just makes my heart just feel a little fluttery. So thank you. If you are watching the replay, I hope you used the 1.5 speed because it's getting a little long for me. No, Brianna, I'm not going to be able to be on tonight. Yeah, church. I get to sit in the nursery while everybody else has all the big kids and whatnot. So I'll get to manage some very cat-like children who, you're trying to herd the cats. That's what we do. We love them while we herd them and we keep them focused and we start throwing out the snacks. It's a grand old time. So anyway, all right, I'm trying to close this up, but my brain is just like, blah, 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 blah. I tell you what though, if you want to see how your energy can improve, start researching the iodine and see how it impacts your life. I've always had a go brain and a lot of energy, but I usually crash hard. Ever since the iodine, I tell you what, I feel like I'm at like warp speed. I've always felt a little bit like Iron Man. I'm an Iron Man with an upgrade. So my suit got upgraded. Okay, that was a way far tangent. We're refocusing. Thank you so much for being here. If you are a subscriber, I really appreciate you being here to watch. If you watch the replay, whatever, whomever's here, thank you so much for being part of this. Whatever this is, my hobby, I guess. Okay, I'll have to go and check my Marcos. I haven't checked them yet. And if you are new here, this is me. This is it. This is what you get. So if you're intrigued by this mess, feel free to poke around the channel. And if you would like to be part of the entertainment, I hope it's entertaining because in my head, I think it is. I encourage you to subscribe, go check out some of my other content, all that jazz. And okay, we're officially done.